favourite flowers for this year are my dahlias. My favourite flower is this one. I really like this one, and this is new this year. I bought this in a bargain bucket type thing. I think it was £1, so I can't say that I was robbed, can I? My pom-poms, and these are new for this year. I think the only one that's flowered, I've had quite a few die off. They got quite to a decent size and then died off. I think it's the weather. The only one from last year's, I think, is this one. I've got another one here that's not flowered yet, so we'll wait to see what that is. But yes, these, I will say, dahlias are my favourite plant for this year. For them that's been watching, I think one of the successes in the garden this year has been this hanging basket display. It's been raining overnight. It's just got battered overnight, so it's not looking at its best, but it's gone like this before and come back. New in the garden this year are the vines. I've never grown vines before, and they're doing well, and up to yet are a success, even though this one keeps having the odd, if I can turn it around, bad leaf, and I keep just pulling them off. I think it's the weather. I think a lot of the plants have had stuff come on the leaves. The most interesting plant, new plant for this year, is this one. I quite like it. This is a lily. I don't want to get to it any closer, you'll be able to see. It's a pineapple lily, and it just looks like a little pineapple. Look, looks really nice. So that's the most interesting plant I've bought this year. On the things that's been a disappointment is the strawberry tower. It's not doing too bad now, but earlier on, I found a weed. See if I can pull it out without pulling the plant out. There we are. If I see a weed, I have to pull it out. Right, early on in the year, this just got waterlogged because there's no drainage in it. It's about here. It's got like a water system that holds water, but there's no hole above that water system for when it gets too full. And so the weather we've had, it's been absolutely ridiculous. It's been absolutely overflowing with water, and even though it looks not too bad now, I've had to replace quite a few of the strawberries at the bottom. And well, there we are. This is a dead one. We've just got a piece of grass in there. And here as well, look, another dead one. And this is with replacements being put in. So perhaps another year with different weather, it might be better. But I've decided to put something different in this, and it's going in the tunnel, and it's going to have trailing tomatoes in it, so I can keep track of how much water it's having. So it's not a failure, but it's a disappointment. I've been happy with the fruit bushes, considering they was dug up from the allotment and brought up here at the beginning of the year. We've had a lot of fruit off them. I'm quite happy, and I'm quite happy with my cuttings that I took last year. They're doing really well, so I should say that that's a success. On the potatoes front, we have had a success. We've had quite a few potatoes out of the sacks. The only thing with the potatoes is that they need to find a new place. This place is not very handy because once they've grown over the path, so it struggled to get up. And the others over the other side have fell forward onto a bed, so that's not really very good. So even though there was potatoes that I'd saved from the year before and put in, so the free potatoes really have not cost me a thing. in general they need to be moved, find a new spot that is more suitable for them. So a success, but I need to think about a different place for them for next year. The nasturtiums, they was a great success. They've been beautiful. They're not very good now because we've had an attack of black fly, but they've done the job. They've kept the black fly off anything else, so I haven't had to worry too much. I've noticed a few on my dahlias, so I've got to go and spray them again, but that's been a success, so it's a success story. And again, while I'm talking, I'm busy collecting seeds. There's absolutely stacks. I'll have more seeds than I know what to do with, and I might give some away to friends. So anybody that's subscribed to my channel, they only have to leave me a little message and I will send you some through the post. So, well, the carrots up to yet, I will say, have been a success. This is the best year I've ever grown carrots. I've always had a disaster, and even though I've had little tiny weeny carrots, not had anything really good. And I took a few out the other day and it made a meal, and these are looking nice and sturdy. This is a different type. These are little round ones, but I can see carrots down there, so I'll just cover them up like that. So a success. So hopefully I'll do well with the carrots next year. I'm going to make a drawing, a plan of the garden, and I've already decided a few places that I'm putting things, so I'll go through that with you as well. The other success has been this has really been good, because it got them started off in the cold weather and kept them coming, because the money maker that I put in at the same time, straight outside, nowhere like the size of this, and this has spent most of the hotter weather with it open. Even at night I've not shut it. It was only shut when we had all that cold weather. And we're doing really well with the tomatoes. These are Tigerellas and they're coming on really nice. I'm really happy with them. The only thing I would say about this is, if I come up here, I've put it in the wrong place because of my watering system, because every time I want to switch on or off or swap them pipes for another pipe to spray the garden with water instead of it being on the watering system, I can't reach very well and I'm struggling. So other than that, and this being flat, and when it's really wet it all gathers in here and makes a big pool. I mean, it just eventually go down these holes and waters the plant, runs down that cane, but sometimes when we've had really heavy rain, this has been like really dipped and I've worried that it's going to rip, but I suppose it's designed for the summer. So, and this spot, let me pull that off. That don't look very well. Might be a bit of blight there, look, but we've been pulling them off for ages and they're surviving. So even though I think I have blight, I've been keeping it at bay by keeping the tunnel well aerated and taking off quite a lot of the leaves and taking anything that I see that looks vaguely like blight away. I think that one might be starting just there. That one's going as well. Yeah, I can see it on there. But with doing this, it's encouraging these tomatoes to grow, and I don't think I've got any on the tomatoes. What's that? Oh, that's just a leaf though. No, panic over. So I would say this is a success, but I'm finding a different place for it. I mean, it's really sunny here all day long when the sun's out, so it's a good place. So I picked well, but I've either got to move my watering system or I've got to move this. And seeing as it makes my area to walk in and out of the tunnel and the shed a bit awkward, I might move it. The tunnel. Now, this has been a bit of a, well, not a disaster, not a bad decision, because I knew that this area didn't get as much sun, especially that back corner. I'm going to try and improve it by cutting that conifer back in the winter. I'm going to take this cover off so I can get back up there and chop it down. This tunnel used to be, if anybody saw my videos from probably 2014, it used to be where them two beds are over there, and it got lots of sun because it's stinking red hot. That's why that netting, that fleece is over the netting to try and shade them cabbages, because they just can't cope with the heat. But I wanted some beds, and I knew that I'd have to move it. And this area where the tunnel is, let me move you back, is slabbed, because this area was my dog run, and this was like big metal cage, and it fastened on to this building, and this building was my kennels. But we don't use them anymore. Times have changed, we do different things, we have different types of dogs, so we've changed things. So this is now a shed, even though it's reese block. So in general, this wasn't the right place to put a tunnel, but it is good in one respect, because there's not, I couldn't have put a bed here without taking all these slabs up. So it's been all right, but early on in the year it doesn't really get enough light, and even in the height of the summer, when we've had a lot of sun, that back end don't get much light, and that's why them two tomatoes there are not doing very well at all. So I'm thinking of next year using that corner just as storage. So when I need to move things around, I'm thinking of perhaps having more tomatoes outside and the cucumbers all the way along this side. Peas have done quite well. I've only had a few because I've not really had the place to put them. So next year, if I turn round, these beds are having a lot of things different done with them, and they're being organised a little bit better, because they got built when I'd got plants already growing, and so I'm kind of shoving things in when they needed to go in before other beds were built. So it's not done bad, and I think it looks really nice, and it's been productive, but I think it can be more productive if I do it differently. The biggest thing was the little square beds at the back. There's one that corner, one over there and one over there. I've discovered that they don't grow things how I expected to grow them, so we're going to have just flowers in them, and we're going to change things round, and we're only having tall things like cosmos, African marigolds, things like that in, that can cope with the conditions that them beds have. This bed is not very fertile. It's soil that we've used from where the fruit are. So this bed is going to have a load of manure put in it and covered up for the winter. and then we're going to have beans in it. So I'm going to have big bean poles up here, and the potatoes are only going to be, if they're here at all, they're just going to be one row. So when they fall forward, they're not falling over this bed. So like I said earlier, the potatoes are having a big change around. They've been a success because we're getting loads of potatoes out of the bags, but it's not ideal situation. So the beans are going here, and the courgettes I think are going in this bed, and this bed is going to get really well manured as well and covered for the winter, so the worms can do the jobs. And in where the courgettes are now, I'm going to put winter onions. So I'm having onions in there. I've had onions in there before and they've done really well. So them 3 beds sorted. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put some peas. I might put some peas in with the beans in that bed somewhere. I've just got to see how much room we've got for that when I actually come to do it. So all that back end will be flowers, but the lilies are being moved. It's not suited there, they don't like it. So it's going to be things like cosmos and the African marigolds, which grow tall, and perhaps 1 or 2 other really tall plants, all the way across the back. The tomato tower is a success. The only thing I would say is I need to put it somewhere else. I don't know where, because it's slightly on a tilt, so when you water it, the front gets most of the water. That's why the rocket's gone to seed. It's not been getting enough water. So that is a success. I might not put it in a bucket, I might put it straight into a bed next year, and I might put it on the ends of the bean bed and have the beans in the middle. I'm not quite sure. We're just going to see where we can fit it. I've got to find somewhere where there's plenty of sunshine for it. So, and I might do 2. So success, I think, for the tomato tower. This bed I think I'm sticking to lettuce, spring onions, beetroot, may put a bit of chard in, or my little things, radish, fennel, little things like that, all in this bed. That's what's happening here. Now this big bed, I think this is where my cabbage is going this year. I know I've got a bit of cabbage in the middle, but I'm going to perhaps put something else where them cabbage have been. I think we might put some squash in this bed as well. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll probably put the cabbage this end and the squash at the top, but these squash don't spread as like normal squash. They're supposed to be able to go in pots, and they are in pots, and you get little tiny butternut squashes on them instead of the bigger ones, so you get lots of little ones. So I'm thinking about putting them across the top there, right at the back of this bed. So not completely decided on this bed. I'm still thinking about it, but it's been quite successful. It's doing well. It's got carrots in, it's got some spare tomatoes in here, turnips, they seem to be happy. So not quite sure where my sunflowers are going to go, because I didn't expect these to be this big. So I may put my sunflowers with the cosmos and the African marigolds in them small little square beds at the back there, that one, and over that side. So overall, mostly we've had a success. My sweet peas have done nice. The only trouble is I forget to water them over there, and they're in a trough, so really they've been neglected. So everything has done pretty well. We just need to move a few things, and I need to finish this path. I've got slabs for it, so I'm not falling over things, and another set 2 on the nettles. The tall dahlias on this side are staying, but some of the smaller pots are being moved onto the patio. I have started getting a lot on the patio. Still got a lot of stuff to sort out, but this area and this area I'm keeping as it is, and then a few more pots are moving down, and we have this back area to sort and all these stones to sort. So we've got another project, and the big thing is to do something about this plum tree. I've discovered we've got some sort of fungus. If I just take that one off, I think it's a fungus, or it's something that's got in and laid its eggs, but my daughter's been looking up on the internet and they said it's a fungus, so we're going to spray this tree at the end of the season, so I'll be able to eat the nice plums. There's one or two nice ones that's not got this on them, but so we've had trouble with this cherry tree before, but the weather might not have helped this year. We thought we'd cracked it, and we've had some lovely plums last couple of years. But let me take you around here and show you. There we go. It's starting already. Look, this is what happens to it. So only trouble is this one, trying to do that and film at the same time is not really good. I probably went dead wobbly then, sorry. We've got to stop the dogs from eating them, because they drop off when they get like this, and then the dogs try to eat them, and I don't want the dogs with pulley tummies, because Freya is, aren't you? She's here, look. Aren't you, Freya? You're obsessed with plums. You get obsessed with everything, don't you, dog? So yes I do. My new archway is a success. I really like this. It's just made things difficult when we wanted to bring things up the garden, because we didn't realise how much things that we do bring on and off of the garden. And this fruit tree area is looking nice. They will have to be spread out when they get a bit bigger, so they'll probably go to 3 pots instead of 4, and then down to 2 pots eventually, but the other 2 will go on the other side. So that's looking nice. I'm in the process of sorting out my pots, so this is going to be a brilliant success, this idea of clearing this out, and I'm having all my trays and my pots and everything in here, so I know where they are. So I'm busy sorting them out, trying to sort them out into sizes. A few of them might go, but this was another good idea. So this idea is staying for next year. And if I take you around the other side, this area was a success. These little plastic greenhouses in front of the conservatory, or junk room may I say, has been a success. It was useful earlier on in the year, and now my peppers are in it, and they've come on really well, and they're flowering. So it looks like I'm going to be getting some peppers in a bit. So this area is staying here, and will be this area has really done well. This is my melons, and it's the first time I've had melons looking as good as this. I don't think we've got any females on.